Off, both crosses, hands down, and away we go for the first time in 35 years.
Ladies and gents, boys and girls, hello and a very warm welcome to the Aram training channel. Welcome back. This is about competitive rowing, and today it's about one of the best, if not the best, boys 8 in the world, in my humble opinion.
Sort of talks and whispers that they are as quick, if not quicker, than the crew that holds every record for every marker down this course.
I'm talking about St. Paul's, the 2024 Henley Royal Regatta, the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup. This school 8 is so good that a lot of people who are not even schoolboys anymore watch it, simply because the way this 8 moves and the way the athletes row the boat, it's quite outstanding. And it's easy to fall for the trap and say they're fast, therefore everything is right. And sometimes we also saw this in Henley, and I did a single scull video analysis. The fast boats are not necessarily the ones where the rowers row the most effective way or the most beautiful. But this 8, and this is especially true for team boats, has got something very special. And in team boats it's very important to be effective and to follow the main principles of rowing. And if you watch that St. Paul's 8 here on our right side, you see that they are doing something different than everybody else. Even collegiate 8s, even club 8s, even some national team 8s. What the St. Paul's crew is doing differently is that they are able to use body weight. And using body weight is often misunderstood. Usually we think of using body weight as something where we start the leg drive and eventually over the course of the drive we use the upper body swing with body weight. But it works differently. There are a couple of principles in rowing. The first principle is the less body motion, the more boat motion. The more kinetic energy you can transfer in an effective way onto the boat, the faster the boat is going to go. The second thing is that you need to be able to connect your body weight right at the catch. And that involves very little motion, but a supple motion with tremendous control of your deep muscles. And that's something that is very difficult to coach, especially if you don't have a lot of time and these boys are not around as rowers or available for St. Paul's School too long. I don't know who's coaching at St. Paul's, but what I see is the handwriting. And what I see is the consistency in the handwriting. And like many others, I deeply respect that and want to pay tribute to that. And with that video, I would like to analyze that. Now, this is pretty soon after the start, and already there's a decisive lead. First of all, it takes mental stability not to bash out of the starting blocks and try to make it all happen within the first couple of meters. And they had this. But what we see now is even more important. During the drive, if we just check the bowman, you see that tremendous control in his torso. What I mean by that is a lot of people here at the catch have a tendency to use the arms very early. So at that stage, they would use the arms very early. What I'm referring to is this here. It's the patience to receive the resistance right there. But and that's so important to convey. It's not just the extended arms. That's one thing. What's more important is to receive the resistance with your upper back here, while keeping the low back stable. Here, that's the major difference. So a stroke then looks, with St. Paul's, looks like that, because you suspend the entire body weight and instead snap into the finish, versus a typical schoolboy stroke. Or just try to sit straight at the finish. It's two things. Trying to force the resistance at the catch because you are motivated. And at the finish, trying to be upright for the sake of being upright. And St. Paul's is doing it that they're long, and therefore when they open the upper body, it snaps. Your inboard almost snaps in. What we see consistently throughout the entire boat are stretched out, especially outside shoulders, to let the energy go from arms into the core. So it's essentially received here. This is where the impact is. That part there. And a lot of people just don't have the patience to let this happen. A lot of people would start to contract their arms very early in order to get a hold of the resistance. And a lot of people do that or this. And what I perceive that the entire team, no matter which generation, does better than almost any other boat I know is to have patience so that the resistance occur. Yes, you look for resistance with your legs, but you have to be patient enough to be extended here and receive the resistance, not just with your shoulder, but with the lats. And that, of course, requires you to do that. And this is why you see everybody with extended arms. They're able to be patient enough to let the resistance you perceive at the catch produce itself rather than forcing it to happen. Let's go through athlete by athlete and you will see what I mean. Look at bow seat, right here where my cursor is, starting to drive, getting right into body weight. If you want to connect body weight at the catch, you have to be patient until you feel the load in your upper back, mostly the lats, latissimus dorsi, our best friend. At the same time, you must not neglect low back stability. And that's something where you can certainly see the difference between 2-seat and bow. So 1-seat and 2-seat. 2-seat here definitely has an issue, and there will be injuries in the low back if he continues to roll like this. But keep in mind, there's not much time to coach these boys. And in addition to that, that's an age where all these boys are growing very quickly. So it's not easy to make this happen so soon. And eventually you have to accept that there are boys who are very talented rowers, who have a tremendous feeling for the boat, but because of how quickly they're growing, tendons, ligaments, especially boys growing in massive pushes, you will have boys on the boat who are simply unable to control their body in a way they want because they're lacking mobility, because a body part has grown excessively. Nevertheless, the one principle you can teach is to receive the resistance through the lats. And even that here, you see this 2-seat, that's the inside arm, which is usually not easy to extend around the shoulders. Even here, he's got a very solid extension in the inside lat. Anybody who's ever done sweep rowing knows how difficult this is, especially in a race situation, especially Henley final. This is the peak of a then lifetime. Let's check 3-seat, almost overextended arms. Of course, if this were the national team boat, you would spend more time and polish the technique and say, hey, connect with your low torso a bit better. But these are schoolboys. And yet the principle, the idea is it goes through this like a mantra. Wait until you feel a resistance. I don't know how they're being coached, but as a coach, I perceive I can read what they were focusing on. And that's, for me, a pretty clear language. Don't go for a quick and hard catch. Go for something that is direct. You don't want to lose anything, but try to receive the resistance with your upper back, with the lats. This changes everything. And of course, sometimes athletes will shoot their slides, like 3-seat here. That will happen. But shooting the slides still creates better force curves, more plateau-like force curves, than trying to be intentionally quick and aggressive at the catch. That is different. Let's look at 4-seat right here. Again, inside arm. Look how well extended this inside arm is. That requires a lot of shoulder mobility, so a very talented rower. Receiving with the stretched out inside shoulder. This is something that is rare. If you have seen a lot of 8s, you probably know what I'm talking about. This stretched out inside shoulder here is fantastic. That's, in my opinion, the reason why this 8 is as fast as it is. I don't believe that these boys are superhuman, nor do I believe that their ERG scores are significantly better than some of the other boys' ERG scores in the other teams. They might be, but I doubt it. I believe it's the way they row. I believe it's their technique. It's one of these examples where great rowing technique makes all the difference. Let's look at 5-seat here. Same principle. Look at that. He's very direct. That's an excellent example. The blade is about to connect with the water. It's now connected, and you can see the suspension in the outside lat. You can see the firm position in the low back, yet the mobility and flexibility and extension in the upper section of the back going through the lats. You see the mobility of the shoulder blades. And also mid-drive, still suspended upper body weight. And now when they do the slightest bit of upper body rotation, it has massive effect on the blade. And that's the second secret this boat has. I mean, it's not a secret. Good coaches know that. It is the ability to suspend the body weight at the catch, not trying to force a quick connection, but let it produce itself, so that even during the leg drive, the entire upper body weight is suspended behind the blade. And then when you open your upper body together, your body weight moves the boat, and it's a tiny bit of motion that is sufficient. Therefore, you don't have an excessively long swing back, because the tiniest bit of motion is enough. It's sufficient to give the boat the extra speed it needs. We will see 6 seat now. That's he right here. Very interesting. See that? Raising the arms into the catch, even in a stress situation like that. Not using the upper body here to find resistance, but raising the arms into the catch, starting the leg drive with extended arms. That's got to be one of their main focus points. Raise your arms into the catch and then connect through the body. Legs move the suspended upper body, and through suspended, especially the outside shoulder here, through suspended body weight into the finish. He's not as proficient as the others, but still follows that one main principle. Be patient at the catch. Let the resistance produce itself, and you receive it with an extension of the lats as well as you can. And the slightest bit of upper body weight motion is sufficient. Beautiful. Let's look at 7 seat. That's he right here. Look at how he goes around the pins. I understand why they put him in 7 seat. How it goes around the pins, follows the motion pattern of the inboard. Pre-stretches the lat. A bit of a deficiency in the low back position, could be age related. And then starting the leg, raising the arms carefully, looking for resistance with the legs while maintaining the position, holding the position, the upper back. Did you see this? Here, starting the leg drive, and now holding the position through an extension and stretch. I don't think it's possible to show this any better than it is given here. I don't even want to draw there, because it would be an overlay. I just draw the line underneath it. You see, this is the kind of stretch I'm looking for. That means the entire upper body is suspended. I don't think it can be any better. There's no better visual that I can name or that I can produce. This 7 seat has got this nailed extremely well. Also, something that occurs to me, if you just check everybody's knees in a recovery, almost everybody has their knees down, at least until the hands are past the knees, and at least until a bit of upper body rotation forward has been completed. This is just discipline. It doesn't require talent. It doesn't require special skills. It's very simply discipline. And it's a very disciplined aid, in my opinion. So stroke is no exception here. Going around, you can see this here. Stretching the outside shoulder, going around the pins. This is where you can see it. Look, just raising arms into the position with the raise of the arm, trying to get a bit more stretch in the lat. I will show you in a biro at the end of this video exactly what I'm referring to. And this, ladies and gents, makes this 2024 St. Paul's 8 exceptional. It's not the win. The win is one thing. And I think for the boys in that boat and for the coach, this is the confirmation. For me, as an outside coach, this is something that should be watched by, don't want to be cheesy, but possibly by generations of rowers and coaches, what actually matters. And of course you could say, well, the blade work is good. Well, the question is, why is the blade work good? The blade work is good because of discipline, and discipline is one of the virtues this team has. But it's not just discipline doing dumb things. It's discipline and being able to follow the most important principles. You see again the stretch here in the outside arm. Even he is trying to bring the shoulders up in order to keep the arms long. So the idea of long arms is something that is visible at all stages and with all athletes. And of course, not everybody's able to do this well. So if you compare the stability of the low back here and here with that, of course this is not as good. Certainly, but we're talking about a schoolboy's 8 with limited training time, and these boys have other things to do than just rowing. This is not a national team 8. Now, I'm going to do something. I'm going to compare this to an 8 that I saw 2018. Again, St. Paul's. And the way they rowed then, here they are on the left side of our picture, was in my opinion even better. That 2018 St. Paul's 8 was the best boys 8 I've ever seen and seen since then. There's, in my opinion, no better boys 8 than this one, that 2018 Henley St. Paul's 8. I explain in a moment why. We get a good picture here. The most important difference to the 2024 edition of this team is the individual technique capability. You almost don't see hunched low backs. This is already the worst example, and he's better than some of the others in the 2024 crew. It's the same principle of extended arms and lats, trying to receive the resistance with the upper back, with the stretch in the lat, trying to bring it down into the main core. That principle is the same. Also here, you don't sit like this unless you are being told, row with your body weight, suspend your body weight at the catch. Very likely, the coach has used different words. This is one of the rare exceptions in that 8 where you see the outside arm being bent. Same idea is visible at every possible stage of the drive. However, the boat is simply more together. There are less individual flaws, and that is a massive difference. It's these tiny nuances that make all the difference. The principle of suspending body weight at the catch, you can see this here with 4-seed. He's doing an excellent job here. Look at the suspension of both sides. Drive, using body weight, minimum body motion, maximum effect on the boat. See this? There are no massive upper body swings in that boat. It is legs to upper body. Minimum motion, and the boat, look how it picks up speed. Beautiful. Knees down. Everybody has the knees down. Going around the pins. You see how the stroke guy is absolutely effective in holding the knees down using body weight. It's important to have somebody in stroke who knows how to do this, because it changes the force curves you produce. And what people in an 8 are following are not when the blades go in and out. Good rowers learn how to feel force curves of their stroke. And then they try to support the force curves the stroke is providing. It's something, if you're experienced enough, and if your coach guides you in the right direction, you understand, I'm supposed to feel when is the legs to upper body transition. I'm supposed to keep the plateau going with minimum body motion. Okay, how do I do this? Coach said, try to let the resistance produce itself at the catch. Try to receive it with stretched out lats, not just stretched out arms. If I do this, now it's easier to have minimum body motion and maximum effect. I wanted to keep this video short, but there's a lot to say about this 8. And I could talk about blade work and the knee work and all that stuff. But I want to keep it shorter than it could be. So I'm going to close this video with a couple strokes on a bi rower. We want to show you what exactly I'm referring to and what the difference is between excellent crews and good crews. Okay, so what I'm referring to is this here. It's the patience to receive the resistance right there. And a lot of people do that or this. And what I perceive that the entire team, no matter which generation, does better than almost any other boat I know is to have patience so that the resistance occur. Yes, you look for resistance with your legs, but you have to be patient enough to be extended here and receive the resistance, not just with your shoulder, but with the lats. And that, of course, requires you to do that. And this is why you see everybody with extended arms. But and that's so important to convey, it's not just the extended arms. That's one thing. What's more important is to receive the resistance with your upper back here, while keeping the low back stable. Here, that's the major difference. So a stroke then looks, with St. Paul's, looks like that, because you suspend the entire body weight and instead snap into the finish, versus a typical schoolboy stroke. Or just try to sit straight at the finish. It's two things. Trying to force the resistance at the catch because you are motivated, and at the finish, trying to be upright for the sake of being upright. And St. Paul's is doing it that they're long, and therefore when they open the upper body, it snaps. Your inboard almost snaps in. All right, with that being said, great rowing. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have, and I'm looking forward to seeing your next video. If you want to work with me, aramtraining.com is my website. This beauty here is a Bi-Rower Pro, rigged for portside sweep rowing, can be rigged for sculling as well. I will show a couple of videos in the outro clip, and I'm looking forward to seeing your next video. Subscribe if you haven't, and share the video if you think somebody else can benefit. If you want to suggest a video topic, you can contact me on rowing.zone. My handle is @Aram, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.